So, what is a carb sticker? What exactly does this little number mean, and what does it do? Hey guys, what's going on? You're probably wondering what the hell I'm doing at a library. Just kidding, I know it's Barnes & Noble. But the reason why we're here around all these books is because I'm gonna teach you guys today. We're gonna learn a few things, I'm gonna educate you, because one of the biggest things that I've been having discussions with in my social groups and from viewers alike is this legal? What makes it illegal? Why is it illegal? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm gonna address that in today's video. Let's go. Alright guys, so this is obviously a change of pace. The first mod that I'm going to want to address is, and probably the one that I'm going to get the most questions about, is window tint. Now, I know that there's a lot of different information out there and some people will say this and that, but I'm here to kind of give you, my take on it. This will change by, state law obviously, so depending on what state you reside in, it's going to be different. But in California, the regulations for window tint are, it is legal. You can have your rear windshield and rear windows along with your moonroofs and hatches tinted as dark as you'd like without any kind of legal ramification. Now the biggest misconception and misinformed part is the front windows. Legally you can tint them, however they have to be 70% transparent, which translates essentially to the lowest shade of window tint allowed. So you can have window tint on the front, driver and passenger windows, but they have to be, nowhere near dark. They can't. That's in California. There are other states that allow, as dark as you like, especially, desert area states. So you're gonna want to look into it depending on where you live. Lastly, banners. So there's a lot of misinformation on that as well. Banners are legal. The only big caveat is that they can't have highly reflective material and they have to be no more than 4 inches from the top of the actual roof line. So they could be 4 inches wide down, and they could be as dark as you like them, but they just can't be, and this is for tint in general, it can't be highly reflective, and in California it can't have any colors that emulate law enforcement, so they can't be blue, red, or amber. That's kind of a unique one, and it's probably made because back in the day people used to like to match their window tint to their car color. So yeah, window tint. Alright, mod number 2, headlights. So there's a lot of misinformation regarding that as well. Biggest thing to tell you is, again, it varies by state, but the majority of aftermarket HID kits that are very popular among tuners all around are not street legal. Mainly because of the fact that most housings are made for a halogen application. So, that gives you the first thing right there. Number 2, their luminosity is a little too bright for non-off-road applications. Sometimes it's also the tint of color. Anything that's not yellow or white, but emits, say, like those bluish purple HID bulbs that some people like to use, illegal. Also the way the beam scatters, because unless your car application was made for HID, you're going to have a lot of scatter, and some people don't tune their headlights properly to match for an HID bulb. Some applications that usually don't have that problem that use an HID bulb are usually cars that already come with a stock projector dome because it has a cutoff. So you're okay, but again, it's not legal. Same with all the new LED headlights. It's all for off-road use. So if you want to go brighter, like I have holding in my hand, I have these Sylvania Ultra Silver Stars. They're brighter, but keep in mind that any kind of brighter halogen bulb, you're getting that brightness at the expense of longevity. So they're not going to last as long, and they're going to die out a lot faster than your standard halogen. Also, just keep in mind, they do make bulbs like these that are colored, that like a bluish or purple, and those are illegal as well. These ones, as you can see, they have that little clear area, and it's basically where the light's going to emit. This little tint is just to kind of give it the style aspect when you look directly at the headlight application. Also, some of these bulbs are higher wattage application. Same with HIDs and LEDs. Be very careful because You know, besides obviously the legality, you're also going to damage your electrical system, your headlight system, and anything that's a higher wattage, like 55 watts, is considered off-road as well. So yeah, a lot of misconception with headlight bulbs, but usually for, you know, street applications, do so at your own risk. But for those of you who are wondering, they are not legal. While we're also still kind of on the subject of headlights, one last thing that I was going to say is, you know, not just luminosity, but also there are regulations and rules regarding how far your headlight beam goes and how high it is. So keep those in mind. In California, they're not usually really big jerks about that stuff. But as some of my, you know, East Coast people can attest, in certain situations, you know, police, if they want to, can go all the way out of their way to start measuring things and start giving you citations for that. So yeah. Next is oil catch cans, and before you guys start flaming me in comments about why haven't I installed this thing, chill, it's coming. Are they legal or not? Yes and no. I mean, essentially the application of what it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to catch excess blow-by, much like a PCV valve, which all cars come equipped with. However, I can almost guarantee you that if you were to get pulled over and your hood popped, you know, law enforcement officers are, you know, definitely going to look at it kind of funny, and they're probably going to question, you know, whether you have other stuff that's not of legal nature. So, you know, most people usually like to mount these a little lower where they're not seen. I would just say avoid, you know, flashy hoses coming out of the inlets and outlets. Also something that's not super flashy in color. So this particular one, you know, I got it in this kind of like flat black because I, you know, want to keep kind of low key. But yeah, again, essentially it probably is, you know, that's going to be based off of whoever asks, but do so at your own risk. The next one is exhaust systems. This isn't an exhaust system, but I'm going to get to this in a moment. Catbacks are legal in most states, you know, however, in some areas, it'll obviously get you some unwanted attention, so be careful with that. Usually, as long as the exhaust system is after the cat, because it's not altering any emissions, you should be fine. However, just because you have a catback still doesn't make it 100% legal. Main reason being is because there are also laws in place for volume. In California, if your car exhaust system, I believe, exceeds 90 or 92 dB, decibels, you are considered noise polluting, and you can get a fix-it violation for that as well. I know I've mentioned fix-it, so which basically means you don't really get a hefty fine, but you're supposed to demonstrate that you took care of the problem. So by looking to your local PD station, you will have them sign off, and you usually pay like $25 or $50, and it's 95 decibels. I just looked it up, so 95 decibels in California. After that, you're noise polluting, so yeah, be careful. While we're on the subject of exhaust, cat deletes and high flow cat units, that is illegal to the max. Anytime you are modifying any kind of emissions controller, you are completely breaking the law. So do so at your own risks. When you see people saying they're like deleting the first cat, second, third cat, however many cats, the moment you're getting rid of them or gutting them or removing them from the exhaust system, you've already broken the law. So be very careful with that. A high flow cat is honestly, for the most part, usually just a straight pipe meant to look like a cat. So you can pass visual inspection, but you've already removed all of the emissions controllers. And for many cars, especially the Veloster, you're probably going to throw a check engine light anyways because of the fact of the O2 sensor catching the fact that you're already, you know, ruining your emissions. So, yeah. Now, this little simple mod right here that I held earlier is a Resonator Delete pipe. For the Veloster, it's basically underneath the car where the turbo connects back up to the, I believe it's the intake system. I'm sorry, where the turbo connects to the intake system. And basically what it is right now, currently on there, there's a pipe that's really small with kind of like little stacked area. It looks like a muffler basically, and what it's really meant to do right there is it's meant to kind of muffle the sound. However, because of the extra stuff in there, many believe that it does cause some heat absorption. So it's kind of called a resonator delete in a sense. So you put this in, straight flow, you know, no sound absorption, none of that. Again, if people want to be really picky because you're modifying something, it's technically probably not legal, but most people aren't going to go down there and check anyways. So again, do so at your own risk. I just figured, because I know that, you know, some people will do this mod because it's one of the cheapest ones, informing you guys. This other one that I don't have a visual representation for is blowout valves, because obviously I installed one on my car. Are they legal or illegal? Blowout valves for the most part are illegal in the sense that they're not meant the way the manufacturer meant their bypass valve or blowout valve system to work. Most manufacturers use something called a recirculating system, where the blow-off doesn't sound off loud to hear anyways, because it's recirculating the air back into the system. The Hyundai Genesis and Veloster use a very similar system, obviously, where that excess air gets dumped back into the intercooler and back into the intake stream and not onto the air. Blow-off valves are usually atmospheric venting, hence the sound, and the excess air is being released to the atmosphere. That's what makes them illegal, because even though you're just releasing air, there's always a chance of, you know, a slight, you know, mixture of not just air. However, for the most part, it's not necessarily harmful, but it is considered an illegal modification. One of the main reasons why I went with the Turbo XS blowout valve, which I mentioned in my video, is because one, it's specifically designed for the stock turbo system that the Veloster comes with. So no tuning necessary, as some people might, you know, have learned the hard way with an HKS or a Greddy. Universal applications, you know, varying degrees of boost and resistance and whatnot. So yeah, but two, the reason was because you can conceal it. It's underneath the bumper, so, you know, I could come up with some type of lame excuse to say that, oh, I don't have a blow-off valve. But for those of you who decided to install, you know, any other aftermarket one, you more than likely cut a hole in your bumper, and now that's exposed for the world to see. So the moment you pop your hood, it is right there. So, not, you know, trying to put any blame on anybody, but just trying to give you guys a little bit of education on that. Not legal. And for this video, last but definitely not least, these guys. Cone filters, intake systems, short ram, cold air. I'm actually making a video on this, and that's going to be the next mod install, but I'm going to go ahead and address it right now, and I'll reiterate it in that install video. There are many different options, and for many different vehicle makes out there that are legal. For the most part, 49 states that aren't California, most of them are legal. However, for California, because we're so special with our smog regulations, you require something extra, which is what you saw at the beginning of the video, called a CARB sticker. That is basically a sticker for the California Air Resources Board, letting the officer who possibly pulled you over know that that modification that is on your vehicle is legal and known to not affect your emissions in any, you know, way whatsoever, except for positive. So, you know, if you just install one of these, chances are, if you got pulled over and they saw that, you know, you're probably gonna get a fix it for it. If you have an intake system that doesn't have a CARB sticker, you're gonna get a ticket for it. So if you're looking at a short ram or a cold air in California, make sure you have a CARB sticker on it. At the same time, make sure that the application is for your car, because if they really want to be jerks about it, they will run that CARB ID number and see if it's even an intake system that's meant to match your car. I'm saying this from experience on the Honda side, as parts are interchangeable, but you know, you might be rocking an Accord intake on a Prelude or whatnot. Just be careful, do your research. One that I'll give you right off the bat for Veloster Turbo owners is that in California, short ram intakes from K&N, Engine, and AEM are street legal for applications all the way to 2014. If you have a 2015, 2016, and 2017 Veloster Turbo, nothing has changed in the engine bay. It's exactly the same. However, because the CARB sticker was not registered for those year models, it is essentially illegal on those vehicles. You might have a CARB sticker, but if that cop really wants to be a jerk and wants to run it and dig deep, he will find out that for your particular vehicle, you are not in compliance and you will get to fix it. So that wraps that up, guys. You know, hopefully I was able to endow you with some education. You know, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below. And, you know, what would you like me to address next time? You know, what mods are you guys curious about? Feel free to ask me, you know, in the comments below, and, you know, we'll probably make a part 2 to this video, you know, addressing other stuff. I obviously just went over a few simple mods. However, there's a stack of them. You know, we in California are very strict when it comes to emissions and engine mods, but we're a lot more lenient on, for example, other things that are essentially legal, like stands. You know, in California, we see guys slammed, hella flush, whatever, that generally don't get in trouble. But I'm pretty sure any of my followers from New Jersey will be the first to tell you that if you have anything like that over there, you'll immediately get pulled over. If you don't believe me, watch any video on YouTube, type out, you know, H2O International, and just see cars get impounded literally for being not right, you know, not stock ride heights. And they go the extra mile by even measuring how far your lights are, you know, out, things like that. So yeah, thank you guys for all the love and support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. You will have a